You know what I like about you? You're always ready. The word no, not in your vocabulary. Problem is a problem. Baddest thing. Hey girl, anytime, any place, and you're always ready and willing to ride buggy. You never avoid the buggy, and you never yet hide from it. You never run from it. You always come halfway to meet it. Look at the size of it. Still you never back down, you're not easy. Oh, come girl, wine since you love it, wine pon buggy. Climb since you love it, climb pon buggy. Right since you love it, right pon buggy. You want sweetness, come let me wine ya. Wine since you love it, wine pon buggy. Climb since you love it, climb pon buggy. Right since you love it, right pon buggy. You wanna reach and I'm gonna take you there. It's the wine for me.
Right, welcome to iLive Caribbean. I go by the name of DJ Blaxx, and I'm super excited today because we have a very special guest. He's a phenomenal writer, phenomenal artist and performer. One of my favorite artists in the industry right now, the legendary man himself, Proud and Child. How you doing, bro?
Everything is good. He's a legendary. Thank you. Everything is good.
Yeah, to me you are, because I'm a huge fan and I've followed your career for a while now.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
I've seen the progression and the evolution. So yeah, like I said, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
So I'm just gonna get right into it. COVID-19 is here, and it's affected all of us in one way or the other, and it's changed the way that we do things. How have you adapted to the new normal?
I mean, I just do as best as I can. Like as far as regular life go, I just do what they advise us to do as best that I can. I do have to survive. I do have to eat. I do have to make finances to make sure the bills are paid, etc., and so on and so forth.
Right.
Musically, I haven't really done anything different. It's more or less like things have become more of what I've been trying to do, times gone by, as far as like focus a lot on streaming the music and the music being bought and downloaded by the patrons and by the fans. I've always been on that timing.
Right.
Always been on that timing, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now because of the COVID-19 situation. And that's why I always like to tell people everything is a blessing depending on how you look at it, because a lot more people are now on that timing of streaming and urging and encouraging the fans to stream, purchase and download projects and so on. But I've always been on that, so it's not so much of an adjustment for me except for in my personal life per se.
Gotcha. At this point in the year, you would normally be in Trinidad performing, or releasing new music that you have written or played a major part in creating. How different is it for you this year?
It's kind of weird, and this may sound funny. It doesn't feel different because I'm not one to dwell. I'm a type of it is what it is type of person. Like this is it. This is a situation that we're in. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. I'm not gonna dwell on the fact like, oh, I can't get to go to Trinidad or whatever the case may be. I adjust and I adapt very quickly. So yes, I would have been there, and had I been there, XYZ would have been happening by the grace of God. But I'm not. So I'm not gonna dwell on the fact that I'm not there. I'm a type of the cup is half full type guy. So this is where we are, and I'm just doing what I have to do with the circumstances presented to me. And that's just how I live.
Make the best of any situation, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So last year, you released one of the hottest tunes for 2020 of the Street Vice rhythm with Safari. Can you tell me how that collaboration came about?
Safari. We have a lot of mutual friends without realizing that we do have a lot of mutual friends. So I would just like run into him at events here and there over the past 2 or 3 years or so on. I would run into him, he would be in his little space, like acknowledgement, like, hey, what's up? All right, good, And then it was an event that I did last summer, I think, and hosted by some of the same mutual friends, and I didn't know he was gonna be there. So when I pulled up, I saw him, And everybody was there. They gave me the proper introduction, like yo. He's like, yeah, I remember you, blah blah blah, XYZ, long talking.
Right.
So now we're in the dressing room area, and one of the guys were like, yo, I would love if you would do a song with Safari. And I was like, in that case, I have a song sitting at home right now, because I had the song sitting, and I just felt like it needed some international flavor or flavor from a different genre. So when he said that, I was already prepared. So I was like, listen, I'm gonna send a song, you forward it to him. If he likes it, we build. And then that happened. He liked the song, and we exchanged numbers. We made the connection. He came to the studio, he recorded, and we put it out. The song is called Flavor on the Street Vibes Rhythm. Problem Child is Safari. We actually did a video for it too. It's out there, so check that out.
I have checked it out.
L-A-V-A-H, Flavor.
Funny thing you said that. I have checked it out because my son is just 3 years old, and he sings that song word for word from start to ending. It's on repeat all day. It's one of those songs. It's one of those songs wherever I'm playing that for 2020 it had to have been played. I have to play it, right?
Nice. It's an experiment of sorts, because it's not a traditional soca type song,
right.
Nor is it like a hip hop song, nor is it really dance song. Right. It's just vibing. A lot of things, a lot of the lyrics would go over some people's heads, because some people are just like one dimensional as far as the music they like, and if it ain't singing like this, it can't be for them. But that's just me. My music is always going to be my interpretation of my vibes. You're never always going to get what you want from me. I'm a big risk taker with music. I take a lot of risk, and sometimes it connects every time. Sometimes it just doesn't connect with the masses, but I appreciate the people who it connects with, like yourself.
Right, because there's one point in the song where you say, if you don't understand, don't listen. Go listen to somebody else. Don't listen to me, right?
Yeah. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, you listen to the wrong person, the wrong artist. My vibe is my vibe. My vibe is very is unique in a sense where I have all these different genres, intertwined and entangled with each other, and that's what you get when you get a Problem Child record.
Right. As far as the lyrics on the song, did you do all the writing or?
Well, I actually had the full song, and then once Safari agreed to do it, he wrote his part.
So he wrote his part.
I like when people have their own creative control when we're doing collaborations. Yeah. Unless they absolutely do not write, then I don't mind. But if they write, I let them do their thing. That's what I like to do.
And we know you're an amazing writer. Would you mind just listing a few people that you've written for throughout your career?
I'm happy you said people and not songs, because right. People ask me to list songs, we'll be here for a very long time. The likes of course, Patrice Roberts, and most people wouldn't know that. Right. Shal Marshall, right. King Bubba, Marshall Montano, Terry Lyons, my boy, my producer, Virgin Friction, I even wrote for him. I'm pretty sure I'm probably forgetting somebody, but those are the people. Father Fox. Actually, I have a project to finish before the start. Father Fox, he think I start, but I ain't started. But fine, I've been busy, man. And there's a lot of new people that I'm gonna be working with coming up. I actually just worked with a dancehall artist. I'm saying a lot. Why? Because I'm tired. I'm usually more fluent and eloquent than this, but I'm tired. My mind is tired. A dancehall artist who wanted to work with us, and I penned something, and she obliged and did it. So yeah, look out for that soon.
I also just received one of your songs for 2021 of the Honeybee Rhythm.
Honeybee Rhythm, yeah, that's my personal project that I executively produced, right, and put out with 5 songs on it, and all those names are really on it. Zola, yeah, see, and Kels from Trinidad, right. My brethren. Those are all people who I basically always work with, and being that it's my project, Second Style's on a project, but I didn't write his part, he wrote his part. Those are the people I usually basically work with, and I just decided to do a project, where I own the masters and everything, and I'm going leading more towards that direction, and that was the first of many to come. I have a few more.
Nice. So I'm Dominican, and you also have a collaboration with the Dominican producer Dada. It's off the Zabuka rhythm, I believe. So track is called Never Me. Which one you the?
Neither Me, Never Bow.
Neither Me, Never Bow. Which one you the 2017 Vinci Road match? Can you tell me what the process was like working with Dada to create such a beautiful fusion of jab music and booyah?
Well, it was DJ Q, my brethren. he was like, "Problem, I have something for you." And at the time, I had a couple of songs ready for Vinci Mas, and he sent me the rhythm, and I loved it. But I was like, "Ah, man, you sent this to me late. I already have my stuff, and I don't know if I'm gonna get a vibe for it." But me, I never really said no to music. I put it on, and if something hits me, then it does. And I started singing little pieces. I was like, this could work. So I recorded it, and more or less to look out for DJ Q, because at the time I wasn't really familiar with Dada, and I had never met him, still have never met him, and or have a relationship with him. Okay. It was more DJ Q was the man who put me on and who wanted that rhythm to happen. Okay. So I obliged and I released it, and then the rest is history.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we from the smaller islands, our musical influence has taken soca to a different level, right? And you were instrumental in playing a major role in that, right? What do you think we, as a unified Caribbean, need to do to make or to help make soca a recognized genre in world music?
We could do a couple of things. I'll keep it to like two things we could do.
Sure.
We could take more risks.
Right.
Because if we're talking about, remember you said world music.
Yeah.
Now we have West Indians all over the world, but we do that. But West Indians are not the only people in the world.
Right.
So we have to, not have to, but we could take a chance and, make our content a little bit different, than what we're used to or accustomed to, so that others could relate to it without watering it down. Because I know the first thing people are going to say, like, oh yeah, when we do that now, it's no longer soca. No. You could put your own twist or influence, or even like your wordplay. Sometimes somebody from West Bubble, wherever, don't even understand what you're talking about. If you want world recognition, nothing is wrong. And I'm not saying you have to do that, because a genre like dancehall, they don't really do it too tough, and people take to it. Right. But that's because they have image, and they have a vibe, and they are very cultured, and they have stuff that's exciting. And even so, they have a lot of content and subject matter that's taboo for soca. You know what I'm saying? That we're, as soca artists, basically not allowed to sing or write about. You know what I'm saying? But you see the difference.
Right.
Music is supposed to be freedom of expression, freedom of creativity.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? But when you have it bottled up, you obviously only gonna get but so far. If you have whatever type of gas in a bottle, it's gonna stay there.
Right.
But if you take the cap off and allow it to flow, it's gonna go in the app. It's gonna go further, right? And then if we wanted to succeed as is without any type of interference or anything, we absolutely have to do better with the numbers. The numbers, people recognize numbers. That's the era, that's the generation we live in, is numbers. Everybody look at what's purchased, what's streamed, what's downloaded. And we like to complain at soca. I see people complaining soca is not even an official genre. It's not recognized on these platforms, on Spotify and YouTube, and in iTunes and whatever. But I ask those same people, have they ever bought a soca record or a soca album?
Right.
You have to. There's no other way. I'm not making this up, because like when Billboard want to do what they want to do, a top 100. There's no top 100 albums in soca, because we don't have 100 albums.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have a top 100 reggae. They have a top 100 R&B, hip hop, country, everything else.
It's a top 100.
We don't have that. They could do it singles, but they're not going to do it with just singles, because albums have to sell as well.
Gotcha.
So when somebody put an album out, yes, you could love to listen to it in a mix, but just for the sake of support, sometimes if you buy one record, a record is like $1.99, sometimes $1.25.
Yeah.
You're not telling me a soca artist can't sell 1 million records. Right. There's more than 1 million West Indians who listen to soca music in the world.
Globally. Yeah.
Globally, way more than 1 million.
Absolutely.
But do they purchase the music? Not as much as they should. Yeah.
What do you think are some of the barriers preventing the art form from getting the recognition it deserves?
Same thing.
Same exact thing.
Same exact thing. Same exact answer. You know what I'm saying? Because when we sing about certain things, and nothing's wrong with the stuff that we sing about, because that's our culture, but we got to be prepared for a selective few people to be able to relate to it. Music is all about people relating to it. That's what makes a song a hit.
Right.
You hear it, you relate to the melody, you relate to the harmonies, whether it's from the artist or the all that come under the same umbrella, or from the beat, or the subject, the concept, which is the subject matter, the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like my song Teeth Piece. You know, even if you have never gone through a situation like that, you may know somebody, you can relate.
You can relate to it, yeah.
You can relate.
You
know, you gotta be able to relate. So artists gotta take more, well, they don't have to, take more risks. And the fans just have to support us when we do put out music. Like, don't just say, problem you're bad, or so-and-so you're bad, or so-and-so well, you really could sing, or so-and-so you really could write, or whatever. That's not doing anything for the genre. You know, if it does anything, it just boosts, inflate egos, you know, and that don't do anything for the genre either.
You got to go out there and support. It.
Yes, sir.
At any given time, you were creatively involved in other songs that are being released for that season. Is there anybody that you go into the studio with and chemistry is just automatic, it just gels?
Well, I don't really go into the studio with anybody.
Okay.
Everything is done like it's a new day. So, you know, like when I write a song for a Patrice, which I just ran back from doing to catch this interview. Yeah, it's just me picking it up on people's vibe, man. I'm very, 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 very adept at picking up on people's vibe. Like, you only gotta spend 2-3 minutes around me for me to know, or feel you out and know, yeah, he cool, or nah, I'm keep from this person, or your energy, or whatever. We wear it and we don't realize that we wear it. Some people are just good at picking up on it. Right. You know, it's like I'll give you an example. I was scrolling Instagram and I saw something happen and it was a trend. Yeah. And I said to somebody, I was like, so-and-so's gonna do this. That was last night. And they did it today.
You prophesized it?
No, it's not proper. I'm not a prophet. I'm just good at picking up on people's, and I know how people move. Right. And we all have a pattern. We all have, like, we almost have serial numbers that we wear. That if you scan us, we have tendencies, and I'm just good at picking up on vibe like that. So I don't really go into the studio with people. I just know, or I have a knack for knowing what would fit who, or who would sound good saying what, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So what inspires you creatively, and who are some of your musical influences?
Life is what inspires me. Life's occurrences, things that happen, just simply things that happen. If you listen to my song, sometimes it's a mood I'm in, sometimes it's a vibe, sometimes it's something that happened to me, sometimes it's something that happened to somebody, sometimes it's something that someone says. I just have like a memory bank, and everything is just stored. You know, as far as influences, man, my influences are like mainly in the other genres.
Gotcha.
A lot of hip hop, a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of Kanye West, a lot of Lil Wayne, a lot of these other guys, man, Red Hot Chili Peppers, rock and roll, a lot of Nirvana, a lot of Matchbox 20, I listen to stuff that the traditional soca artists probably would hear and like, but I seek it out. Like, those are all the things on my playlist. You know, I have oldies, like not even like our type oldies, like Time Life oldies, like Perry Como and people, and people like that, Nat King Cole. I listen to the craziest stuff, and then I got heavy dancehall influence from name it everybody, back from people from before my time, from Yellow Man to Lieutenant Stitchy, all the way up to Agent Sasko, to Vibes Cartel, to whoever. If you're nice with it and you make good music in any genre, Michael Jackson, we could be here forever talking about my influences.
Yes, yeah. If there is one person that you haven't worked with that you could get a chance to work with, who would that be?
There's no one. I have a few. If I had to choose one, I probably would choose Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Just because of his wordplay, and I know like the things he says or have said throughout his whole career. You know, you got to be pretty intelligent to get his music. You know, I like to think that I'm semi-smart at least. You know, I hear stuff like, how did he even come up with that? You know, but then as far, I would love to write a song for at least like a Rihanna or maybe a Beyonce. You know, like a pen for them. And I definitely would like to do a collab with a Vibes Cartel or someone of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's another one of my questions I was going to ask you. Have you crossed over into any other genre in terms of writing for another artist?
Yeah, well, earlier, if you recollect, I just received the demo of the dancehall artist, you know, somewhat established, about to be, you know, I don't want to say who it is as yet, who just finally recorded something that I wrote. There was a record a little while back that Patrice Roberts did with Shensia on it, where she used some of my lyrics. The record didn't really pop the way it was supposed to pop, you know, but she did use some of my lyrics, but it wasn't officially me writing for her or anything of that nature. But this time around, you know, yeah, it's a different vibe, yeah. But I haven't really written for a dancehall artist yet.
Okay, cool. What do you prefer, performing or writing?
I'm a performer, man. I'm not even a writer. I just take songs that I've recorded and give them to people. Like I don't actually really say I never wanted to be a songwriter. You know, I still don't see myself as I guess I'm a singer-songwriter just based on what I do. But that's not my aim. My aim is not to write songs. You know, I only wrote songs because at the time when I was like thriving and struggling to become a mainstream artist or a recognized name, nobody wanted to put me on what rhythms were happening at the time, and rhythms were like the new thing. Everybody was doing rhythms, and nobody thought of good enough. You know, big up to those guys. You know, nobody thought I was good enough, to keep it bluntly. Like everybody was like, eh. And in their own defense, maybe I wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I wasn't. But my whole thing was, you know, as resilient as I am, I was like, listen, okay, how am I gonna do this? I could build my own. So my boy Friction, who produced Party Animal, I was like, bro, let's do a rhythm. And he built the beat, and I loved it. And I saw Patrice Roberts at Synergy TV in Trinidad, and I asked her, I was like, Patrice, if I wrote a song and I sent it to you, would you sing it? She said, if I love it, why not? And we exchanged numbers, and I thought she was just blowing me off. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I recorded the demo for the song, and then she told me I'm going to the studio to record. Like a couple of weeks later, I was like, yeah, all right. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, all right. She's not really going. She's just trying to like. And then it was probably like 2 a.m. when she sent me the recording, and I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I started jumping up and down on my bed. And I sent the song to the producer, Friction, and he started wilding out like, oh, we're producing a song. And you wouldn't believe that song was A Little While Never Hurt Nobody.
Yep. And that is one of my favorite songs right there.
That was that song. So that's how I started writing, and then my song was Life for the Party on the same rhythm. You know, and I was like, okay, it kind of worked. Why not just keep doing it? And you know, it was a point where it was just obvious that every rhythm that I'm on was mine, or me and Frictions, or me or one of my producer friends, because producers still weren't recording me. Right. And then little by little, this started giving me a little shot up recording. Different producers was telling me, yo, I have this thing here, but they started out saying, and they still do, I want you on the rhythm, but I want you to write for Patrice. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, technically, do you really want me or you want Patrice, but you know the way to get Patrice is to put me on the rhythm? Either way, I was fine with it. I was like, I'm going to show y'all what I could do. And it's gotten to a point now where producers will send me rhythms just for me to be on as an artist. That's where I am today. A lot of people still asking me to write for Patrice, but I don't feel no way about it, because I know they know the chemistry is there and the success rate of when I write for her is very high. So I'm not offended by it at all. So that's how come I ended up writing. I never really wanted to write. I'm just at a stage right now where I enjoy it because I'm curious to see what would happen to the song after I create it. And the Honeybee project that's out right now, I wrote 5 songs on that same rhythm all by myself. all 5 songs, right? On the 2 a.m. project, which was Splinters, Like You Like This, Middle of Something, I wrote all 3. You know, on the Pops Guitar Rhythm, which was Marshall Montana, Play Harder, Patrice's Carry On, and my song Feel It, I wrote all 3 as well. And most of the projects that you would see me on previous to this year or late last year, I wrote basically all the songs on every project. And that's just became who I am.
Of the necessity. Any other projects outside of music that you were involved in?
Outside of music?
Yeah.
Explain.
You know, like charities or...
Nah, no official charities, but I do my thing behind the scene, you know. I do my thing, you know, on a personal level for whoever I could help and assist. No, but no official charity or foundation and stuff like that. I do have people that I support who are not really family members per se. I look out for them, make sure, you know, a couple of kids get to school, and make sure that these kids not walking, make sure this van, this vehicle pick them up. Well, when school was, you know, when school was school, you know, and make them get to school instead of having to walk to school. Because I'm like, yo, it's just people who I know who I'm like, yo, you can't have the kids walking, bro, because they're going to be tired by the time they get to school. They're not going to be able to learn them. When they come home, they got homework, they're going to be tired. I mean, they're young, yeah, but geez, that's a lot. So if I could at least help out in that regard, the things I do, those school supplies and so forth. Yeah.
From the heart, not for the club, right? So, you know, it's behind this. Some of them.
Yeah. A lot of people. Somebody actually said that the other day to me. Like, I did a Q&A on Instagram, and they were like, "When are we gonna see Problem Give Back?" And I had to explain to them, man, stop living in the world of Instagram. Just because you don't see it on Instagram
doesn't mean
it's not happening.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Everything is not for show.
Gotcha.
Some things is just for show.
So, what's one of your fondest memories of a time or place where you have performed?
I have so many, man. I always try to enjoy myself no matter where I perform. I don't have any one thing that stand out, you know, but I just try to generally enjoy myself wherever I perform. I don't want to name one thing and people say, what about when here? Well, what about this? And what about that? You know, I just enjoy every performance, man. When I was diving in the crowd all around the world, I should say, yeah, because even in like Rotterdam, early last year when I went to Rotterdam, you know, I was diving in the crowd. It's fun to see what happens and whatever. Okay, taking that risk is like adrenaline pumping. It's a risk,
right.
But you know, yeah. I'll leave it at that.
See the crowd's reaction, and you know,
yeah. Well, I always aim and hope for the crowd to react positively and, you know, get wild and crazy or whatever. So, to me, that's basic. That's why I don't really want to say anything stood out, because I aim for that every single time. Right. Yeah.
So, being Dominican, I can't get away from it. I have to ask you this question: would you be interested in collaborating on a Booyah beat? And if so, is there a particular artist or producer that you would like to work with?
Once the artist bad, one song bad, once rhythm bad, I don't pick and choose. I'm me, man. Like I said, I take a risk. Music is my vibe. Right. You know, I was supposed to be in Dominica last, I don't remember when, last something. I was actually talking to Benji. I was talking to him about me being in Dominica, but then the whole pandemic happened, and obviously that didn't happen, and I think it's gonna be rescheduled, hopefully once things relax over there, as with everywhere else that I was supposed to go. But yeah, as far as collaborating is whatever, it's just the vibe just has. I love music, man. I've done Denery, I've done Zouk, I've done whatever, just name it. As long as it's right, I'm ready.
Because in my mind, I can see a problem child at Asa Bantan being a serious problem, you know.
Oh yeah.
Wise,
yeah, I met Asa. I didn't even know who he was when I met him. We were on the same show in London together. Right. You know, I didn't realize until we got off the plane and the promoter picked both of us up. You know, I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. And he destroyed the event. Great artist, Asa Bantan. Big up Asa Bantan. Yeah, I'm very humble.
Well, let me say this. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us here at iLive Radio. It was a good conversation, and I know me and the rest of your fans are looking forward for what you have stored for us in 2021 and the future. Before we leave, can you tell us how your fans can get in contact with you via social media, follow you, and so on?
Yeah, everything is Real Problem Child. Just REAL Problem Child. REALPROBLEMCHILD. No the real, one real, four wheel. Just Real Problem Child.
Right.
Everything else you could access from there. Because I have a link tree in my bio. You hit that, you go to my YouTube, you go wherever. So it's just Real Problem Child.
Well, I'm gonna say thanks again, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for supporting me.
Before we go, sorry. I have 2 albums out, one from 2019, one from 2020. The first one is Problem is a Problem, and the second one is Problems Again. Look for that on all platforms. Or if you want something more recent, just look up the Honeybee Project. The Honeybee Project. 5 songs on there. Soca music. Support the thing. Yeah, blessings.
Blessing and prosperity.